Hi traders, how you going? We're getting close to midnight, so it's Monday. We've got a bit of a few bank holidays going on, not a lot of data coming out, and we've got a very strong US dollar. We've got an even stronger yen throughout the day, but keep in mind it is a bank holiday in China and in Japan, and we've got the US or North America just opening up right now. Now, during the Asian session and even drifting into the European and the London session, we've had stock markets down, we've had oil down, we've had gold down, we've had currency, the Aussie starting to move down quite rapidly. We've had weakness in the pound. So it's been an interesting day. So what I'm looking for in these types of situations is we're making money on a short, say on the Aussie US dollar. So now I'm looking to where I'm going to exit the trade completely, and or where can I do a counter trend trade. So let's just go in. I'm going to look at this Aussie right now against the US dollar. So I'll share that trade with you and you'll be able to see that screen. So there you are. You should be seeing, this is the Aussie US dollar, which we've been talking about over the last week or so. Down here, this black line, that's your daily support. Okay, daily support also down around these green pivots, which Duncan Cooper will be teaching everybody about in his webinars at ACY. And I've drawn a trend line right across these tops there on a 15-minute chart. So I know the trend is down and I know the weekly trend is down also, but I'm trying to find a reversal point, counter trend at this major support level. So as we move across, you start to see this trade sets up for two reasons. We've got this trend line breaking, and I wait to the end of the 15-minute candle, and I say, right, okay, I'm going to enter this trade around this sort of 72.45 level, and or I could exit the rest of my trade that we were short. Okay, so it sort of gives you a couple of options. My risk, if I go to the bottom here, is about 25 pips. Okay, to enter into that trade at that time. Okay, that's in my risk profile, so that's fine. And I've got this break of this trend line, and I've got my MACD crossing up around the green pivot points and or daily support. Let me show you that daily support. So just before you think I'm crazy, you'll see here prices come down. It's found support here around this level, and we're now seeing it find some support here. Now, the rationale is if it runs into support for a few days or it bounces or it reverses, then I'm looking at those levels as my targets to be able to get the rest of the profit out of a short trade. And or if I can get into a reversal, as soon as I get up 20 pips, I'll just jump back onto that 15-minute chart for you and you'll see what I'm talking about. Here is, for me, for all those reasons, the most reasonable point where I could have a low amount of risk because I'm putting my stop just below that daily support, okay? And a breakout occurs. Once I'm up 20, 30 pips, I can get risk out completely, take some partial profits, okay? And make some money on the upside. Now, where would I put a target in? Well, potential targets are up around this central pivot, which again, you'll learn more about in the webinars with Duncan, and you'll see also here this dotted line or today's projected high. So it'll be an interesting to see if it gets all the way up there, and already you can see that that's starting to move from our entry. I think we're up about 15, so we're pretty close to getting risk out of this particular trade. Now, before you go, let's have a quick look at one other potential opportunity. So it's all happening pretty quickly. Let's have a look at the euro here. So similar scenario. Let me show the euro US dollar. You'll see daily support where I put the rectangle, daily support. It tried to go below, but it's gone above. So are we seeing a little reverse head and shoulder opportunity? And all I'm after is for price to reverse enough for me to get risk out of the trade. Where is that most likely to happen? Well, that's most likely to happen at major levels of support, with nothing major coming out tonight until, tomorrow evening. So we could be having a bit of a rest. So let's have a look on the 15-minute and look at that. You've got trend line break. You've got the MACD crossing up. It's right down around this 117. So that's a full handle. So there's an opportunity there. And it's just after the New York Open as they've woken up for a Monday. So there could be a potential trade going on there. Have yourselves a great evening and we'll see how these work out. All right, good morning, traders. Let's get in and have a look and see how our trades fared. Just to quickly recap, we're in that long position on the Aussie against the US dollar, going counter trend, but down at a major support level, and something very similar with the euro against the US dollar. So first of all, I'll share the screen so you can see the news events coming out this morning or potentially this afternoon that may alter our strategy a little bit. So having a look here, you'll see that we at 11:30 on the Aussie, highlighted there in green, you've got the RBA is going to come out with its monetary policy, its meeting minutes. Okay, so are they going to come out and agree that we're falling off the Clifford Bennett cliff, so that will be bad for the currency? Or are we going to bounce off this support and they'll give us a bit more jawboning, or perhaps they'll be interpreting some data in a positive light? So interesting to see what they say. Either way, we could have some volatility right around 11:30. Now, bringing up the trades. So I'll take it back to where we entered. So right here was our entry. So major support, just to recap this 15-minute entry point. So we had a MACD cross up and we had this trend line here that I drew, the breakout and hold above it. So that was our entry point. We were saying if we get up, say 20 pips or up towards this central pivot, we'd take some profit. But let's have a look and see what happened. So price did start to move up. I like this sign here. So the roof became a floor, suggesting maybe this change of direction at support might live a little longer. And throughout the night, we then got to go back up and retest this pivot. It's amazing how that retests that pivot. Duncan will teach you all about that in his webinars. And where are we standing right now? So this is where we're sitting. So I'm currently up about 10 pips. I'll be watching this at 11:30. So I'll be taking risk out of this trade. It's been going a bit sideways. We've got some news coming out, but I will watch it and then make a decision. If it can be volatile, but if it comes down, I'll just get out of the trade so I can just continue on with my day rather than having to sit there and watch every minute of every trade. Now, the euro US dollar, we're pretty good on the euro. They're asleep. The US is asleep. So I'm looking at, so far, there's not a lot of activity going on this morning. So at this point we saw, let's have a look at the trade very quickly. There's our entry there. This trend line break, we had a MACD, was up right down on support, and it even put in a little short-term reverse head and shoulder pattern there. So I like the look of that. So once it's up 20 pips, I'm getting risk out. So from where we entered, you're looking at got up 20 pips. So risk is now out of this trade, and I'm just going to let it play out. The goal will be, and keep in mind, the pivots are going to change around 10 o'clock and repaint the lines for the day. So just after 10 o'clock, I'll have a look and have a look and change my strategy if I need to. But other than that, have a great day trading, everyone. Hi traders, good afternoon. It's about 10 to 4, looking to exit. In fact, I have exited this Aussie US dollar long position, this counter trend trade. So I'll share my screen with you just so you can see why we exited this trade at this particular time. So here we go. You should be able to see the chart there with you nice and easy. So this is where we entered. Just to continue to recap, MACD cross, trend line break, reversal. So it's a counter trend trade, and it's moved up throughout the day to this 4-hourly resistance level. So it's been a sort of 29 pips. I think I got out of it in the end, only risking about sort of 22. So it's not the ideal trade, but it's profit, and it's profit going straight into my account. So that's the main thing. And more importantly, we managed to get risk out of it, as we woke up this morning. So all good news so far on this Aussie versus the US dollar. And keep in mind, the reason why I'm worried about this 4-hourly resistance, let me just show you. So I'll show it to you on a chart. Because we're in a strong downtrend, okay, I did get a reversal on that daily, but how long can it last for? And it's come up to 4-hourly. Previous support is now becoming resistance, and you'll find that's occurring all the time. This support level here, for example, broke, became resistance. Then it comes back down and it finds a new lower level. So we've got to keep that in mind when we're doing counter trend trades. As for so we're out of that one. So as for the euro, as you can see, as predicted, this thing's just been going sideways all day. We'll be waiting for, in the next couple of hours, to focus our attention on the euro to see what we're going to do there. All right, thanks everyone. Good evening, traders. We're heading into about 10:45 after some US data just came out, and it was pretty positive on the US side. So let's go in and have a look at that. And now we're exiting both that euro US dollar trade, and also we'll exit the Aussie US dollar trade, which we exited at 4-hour resistance a couple of hours ago. So let's just dive in and have a look at this euro US dollar trade. So we made our 20 pips, we've hit that target, and I'm out. Okay, so I went up about a total of 27, but we got some pretty positive news on the US side of the ledger. So I feel like at that point, I'm getting out of that particular trade as the US is starting to strengthen. So building permits came in positive, about 1.73 million. We also had some housing starts come in quite positive, and the current account is improving. So intraday, these types of, even though they're not major events, they are collectively coming out at the same time. I know that the big news is going to be on Thursday. So we've got that federal funds rate coming out and a few other key events out of that US dollar. I feel like that's when the week's really going to light up. So I feel like getting some small profits out of both this Aussie and the US dollar, and also getting out with some profits on this euro US dollar. And I feel like tomorrow that allows me to reset my thinking. I'm not thinking about other trades. I've followed my strategy and I'm looking for entry points there as well. Now, just while you're here, I'll just show you it was actually an exciting short trade. So we went long the Aussie and then it set up beautifully for a short. So I took a short trade not long ago. So I'll show it to you. Let's finish off with that. And you'll see here, so I've got this trend line drawn in. I'm getting out up here. So I'm getting out at that 4-hourly resistance. Okay, I felt like it had moved up beautifully all day and counter trend. So we made a good sort of, I think I made 29 pips on that trade. And then a couple of hours later, it reversed. And then look at this. This is classic. It just absolutely fell through the floor and we got some real volatility. So I was using that central pivot again as a target for a short-term short trade as well. So it allows you, if you're following the same strategies, you can use them long, you can use them short. So it's been a pleasure spending some time with you, taking you through the process of putting these trades on, and I look forward to speaking to you again. Thank you.